Hey people, on this session I wanted to follow up with the comments that was pretty much the basis of the video that I made on sexual education and where is it, because there was like an article on MSNBC that I read about I guess sexual education and are we doing our kids a disservice, etc. and all that. So here's just going to be the comment section from that I feel that embodies the argument and my own sentiments and feelings as well. But like I said, as far as the disclaimer, please read the disclaimer on the description, the video, and like I said, no, you can't sue me or take any legal actions for the contents of my video because you're watching this at your own discretion. So, alright, so to start off, as far as the abstinence only and comments on sexual education and stuff. Proof that abstinence only education doesn't work. $250 million in the new healthcare reform bill is for abstinence only. The kids need to know that they must use condoms and have access to them. As a nurse, I am really tired of conservative religious politics driving policy that hurts our own kids, increases teen pregnancy, and does not teach curriculum of expectations. Use condoms. Thanks to the push to keep teens from getting pregnant, the STD factor has been too long overlooked. I have no judgment. Condoms in the bathroom. My kids are pretty much encouraged that honesty will get them the best relationship with us, and while I am ready to get them protection, they don't think they'll need it. Both saw the risk and the fleeting reality of teen sexual relationships and have wrote them off as not worth it. It was STD education first in my household. Pregnancy is 9 months. Some STDs are forever. I am a 56-year-old. When I was a teenager, sex education in school consisted of a film on menstruation, and that was viewed by girls only. Parents said little or nothing, and yet I never knew or heard of any girl getting pregnant in my school. Abstinence before marriage was the societal norm. Now I read about a classroom where the kids are discussing how much pubic hair boys prefer on their partners. The answer, none. The little boys want the little girls to shave it. So if more of the same is good, right? More condoms to the rescue. The upside is that if we continue to go in this direction, it will be the children raping the pedophiles. If people would use some common sense in their sex lives, common sense used with sex went out the window decades ago. Only Jesus saves. God's way of motivating us to stop sinning. Sex is not a sin. It is not shameful. It is not dirty. It's as natural as breathing. It is how the human race lives on. People just need to use protection and regularly get tested for STIs and STDs. People need to stop shaming sex because it isn't a sin and they won't go to hell for it. Well, a lot of the sex that is engaged in pornography is not shameful and inexcusable, and the only reason that you have to think it is because you decide to buy into what's normal and what's not, and now you're stuck in a stupid way of thinking, and that anything different is bad. Shame on you. And who said you have to be married to have sex? I disagree with that. Not long as both partners are prepared for whatever consequences of what they're doing. What do you mean, where do I see the shaming of sex happening? You'd be surprised there's a lot of overprotective extreme parents nowadays who teach their kids nothing. I never said I lived in the 1930s America, jackass. You're right about promiscuity having to stop, because that is trashy and people need to start being prepared for what might happen if they have sex. But the facts are that there are still extremely conservative people out there who believe that anything sexual is bad, and I think that the abstinence only program supports that backwards way of thinking. That's what I meant when I said that sex needs to stop being shamed. I meant the people who still believe sex is shameful. I meant that like this. Teaching kids abstinence only leaves them unprepared to deal with STDs and STIs or pregnancy. All they know is abstinence only, nothing about sexual responsibility or sexual health. I think it does send the message that sex before marriage is shameful or dirty, and that's the wrong idea if you ask me. It really is sad that a lot of people think that kids should be taught abstinence-only sex programs, since what they're really teaching is ignorance only. What happens when all those kids grow up with the don't have sex is shameful and dirty unless you're married, start having sex? They'll know nothing about birth control, pregnancy, STDs, STIs, even worse. They won't know how to prevent them or deal with them if it happens. And what if they were to catch this incurable gonorrhea? Well, chances are, as soon as they find out what it is, it will be difficult to treat. This is why kids should be taught real sex ed. The sex ed where the teachers show a slideshow of different STDs and STIs to encourage safe sex. The sex ed where it's explicitly explained what intercourse is. The sex ed where kids learn how to use a condom and how birth control works and what methods are out there. The sex ed that teaches how to prevent STDs and STIs and encourages kids to get screened regularly. And last, when kids are taking sex ed courses, they need to also be taught that there is nothing wrong with sex and that it's not shameful or dirty, but that they need to use protection. Once we start teaching our kids, they'll be prepared. Let's see, many Christians attack Darwin and other factual scientific findings. Then the same folks claim that this antibiotic-resistant strain, which has evolved, is their loving God's punishment for promiscuity, sinfulness, and fornication. Besides being so much more ethical, moral, self-righteous than us, heathens, these amazing people know the mind of the Creator. Truly unbelievable. I like to give the Darwin doubters a good case of this treatment-resistant clap. So, I guess that's just the comments that I guess sums up and advocates my advocacy and sentiments on real sexual education for our kids these days, not this abstinence only shit that don't work. So, but with that, I'll see you guys next time.